Ah, what a mess. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the channel. Well, I had an episode planned for you this morning. We were going to work on Noisy Cricket and get some work done on his rear end, get him lowered down to the ground, change over his exhaust. But I got down here super early this morning. It's like 1:30 in the morning. I went ahead and got the fire started. Actually my turbo heater. Get some heat in the shop. I went ahead and got some supplies put away, all that jazz. And when I was looking around, I seen our boy Grem had a massive leak on the floor of the shop. So again, this is about 7 o'clock right now. So in the process of about 6 hours, he is leaking a tremendous amount of either oil or transmission fluid underneath there. So Noisy Cricket's gonna have to wait, and we're gonna have to get Grem up on the lift and see what in the world's going on. So I don't want to start him and run him because I don't know what that is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push him out here in the floor to get him lined up with the lift. And my lift, I've actually attached a winch to. So we'll hook Grem up to the winch, pull him up here on the lift, and we're gonna have to get up here and see what's going on and see what that problem is. I'm not sure if it could be a rear main seal, could be a transmission pan gasket. I have no clue, but we can't have that going on. So I guess today's episode is gonna be about Grem. So let's get him moved over here on the lift, get him up there, and let's see what's going on. So again, let's quit talking about it. Let's be about it. Welcome back to Busted Radio Garage. All right, Grem, come on. Good grief, buddy. What'd you have for breakfast? Get you on the lift, little buddy. Come on. That'll work. All right, let's walk over here and see what we got. It's plumb soaked into this box. Let's see. Yeah, that's transmission fluid. Josh did tell me that it had a small leak. I think it's just opened itself back up for me out here playing with Grem. But you can see that red hue to the color. So we definitely got transmission fluid leaking. So let's get him up here and make sure it's not just a pan gasket. Hopefully it's nothing major. It is what it is. I mean, eventually he's going to get a new built 727 from Cope. But we want to go ahead and stop the leaking from getting all over the floor regardless. So let's get it up there and let's just see. It may just be something minor, but we'll figure it out. Let's get him on the lift. All right, let's get a jack, get it up underneath here with some skates, and get him spun around, lined up with the lift. We'll hook up the winch, get him pulled up on there, and see what we got going on. All righty then. Probably help if I tighten it up all the way. All right, good deal. Let's get some skates under here. Come here, little buddy. All right, there's one. There's two. Boom. Good deal. All right, Grem, let's go for a walk. Close enough. All right, good deal. We got us a tow strap hooked around the K-member. Let's go up here and get our winch pulled out and hook him up. All right, come here, little fella. Wow, already today? Come on. Make sure we get plenty here. All right, got our winch hooked up to a D-ring on the strap. Now my favorite part of this entire setup, well actually it's two parts. One, this is a lifesaver on my back. I don't have to try to shove this car on here. But second, it's wireless. So I can take this little remote anywhere in my shop and pull this car up on here. But for me mainly is I can go back here and steer the car, use this remote, pulls it right up on here, and I'm not stuck to a wire right here, right? And you know, it keeps you from having to have somebody else to help. So, you know, let's get going. Power up, little buddy. Ah, boom. All right, come on with it. That's what I'm screaming. Good deal. All right, come on, Grem. Good boy. I love this little remote, man. I love it. Now, cool. I can go over here, still have the remote in my hand, move my steering wheel, get him lined back up, and go from there. I love it. I mean, this here entire setup, I think, to get the car set up on here was like 150 bucks. And that includes the anchors to get it set to the concrete, the winch. I mean, I used a piece of 6x6 wood here and painted it black to get it up high enough to clear the lift. But I mean, you can find that, you know, anywhere for a few dollars. But yeah, less than 200 bucks and you're no longer fooling around with this. You can, you know, you're in there like swimwear is what I'm saying. Up you go. Get in there. Man, we might be able to stick him plumb through the hole up there. That'd be awesome. Man, you can see in there where he's been leaking. Curious to see what it is. Okay, guys, let's get a couple lights together here. Let's get under here and see what's going on. I can already tell it's dripping from the trans pan. So let's get up here and see what we got. Light up, little fella. There we go. I used to have LED lights wrapped all the way around on my lift, but I finally broke those. I need to get a new set put on here, but it'll be all right. Let's get you drug up here. Come on. What are you doing? Okay, I'll just set that there. Let's get this light. I'll tell you what, these things here are handier in the shirt pocket, and they're only like $6 at Rural King. They're magnetic. You know, the whole smash beats those for me, at least those $60 stick lights. But okay. Yeah, we got transmission fluid on the pan. Oh, definitely up on the bolts. So that is definitely a gasket issue. It's pretty clean here. Back there, we got some trans fluid. We do have some oil. Come in here. Let's see what else we got. We got a little bit of oil up here. We got some dripping there from the drainage bolt, which is no big deal. We go to change the oil. We can put a new, I can't remember what those things are, a little crimp washer. It goes underneath the bolt. I've got some over here in the toolbox. We do have a lot of oil here on the front of the bell housing, which leads me to believe that it's either pan gasket up there might be leaking, or it could be rear main seal. But our biggest culprit is definitely this transmission fluid for sure. So, yeah, see, we got drips right here actually falling down now. Yeah, we're gonna have to get in here and take a look at this. Let me get this camera set up to where I can move around and we'll figure it out. Hold on 1 minute. All right, guys, let me get this brighter light here and we're gonna get up here and see what we got going on. I know for sure, well, shut off. I know for sure we're gonna be changing the pan gasket for sure. This side's really good. I mean, on some of these, especially with these dipsticks, they'll leak around here and then come down and around, but Josh has got one of them flexi sticks in, and man, they got it siliconed up and it's not leaking there. It just appears that it's coming over here on this driver's side pan gasket for some reason. And those are always terrible, right? Because you got to undo the linkage. You got to take everything apart. You got to drop the pan. This one does not have a drain bolt in it, so that's going to make an absolute mess. So, yeah. This oil, I got to figure out. I don't see, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I got oil up here at the top of the block running down on the driver's side. Got some coming off of the oil filter. That's typical Mopar. I don't care. I'll argue with anybody. For some reason on Mopar, and it could be on, I don't own any Chevrolets other than my wife's Camaros, and they're new, so I don't know. But I don't care. I've changed the engines in Noisy Cricket, Homer, a dozen times, and regardless of what I do with that oil filter, it's always got a drip on it. I don't care what you do. So I'm not worried about that. But on top of it, it's coming down the back of the block. So we've got our distributor seal. We've got our oil pressure gauge seal. You know, where you put your oil pressure gauge into the top of your block. It could be either one of those. I seriously doubt the block's got a crack in it. Could be running down the back of the intake, like your China wall could be leaking. I haven't put a lot on camera, but I have taken Grem out in my side yard out here. And I've just beat the crap out of this car playing with it, especially dialing in those carburetors. So yeah, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a rag. We're going to start wiping some stuff off and see what we can do. And I need to go over to my cabinet and see if I got a trans-pan gasket, because we're definitely going to be changing on that for sure. Okay. Come on, Grem. You're wearing me out. All right, let's get some rags, get to cleaning. All right, while we're getting the rags, let's walk over here in the cabinet and see if I've even got a trans-pan gasket here. Pretty sure I do. Let's see. I think I might have one right here. Come off there. Transmission filter. You know what? I might keep that out. We might put a new trans filter while we're in there. Might as well, right? Let's see what else we got. I know I've got a box of gaskets here for 727. Ah, mercy. Do I have one over here? There's a transmission filter kit. Oh, wait a minute. I might have one in here. Oh, money. Hold on. What are you doing? Dirty Dodge. If you haven't seen that video yet, go check it out. Sleeper Dude and I both have videos on this car, so go check out both channels. That's going to be a fun project. I'll give you a little sneak peek while I'm at it. I picked up his new engine yesterday. I can't wait to show you that. All right, let's see what we got. God, this box is roached. CarQuest. 85707. 904. Oh, no, we got one. Score. There it is. 727, brand new gasket. Good deal. Uh-oh. They forgot to punch a hole out. That's fine, we'll get it. Good deal. Let's go get this trans gasket changed. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this trans pan and everything wiped down. I do not want like the Chinese water torture version with transmission fluid, you know, dripping down, just hitting you in the face. And let's just wipe it down. A little bit of brake clean on a rag. Should do just fine. You're a dirty little fella. Probably ought to put these on. Safety first, especially with the eyes right now. Dry you right up. All right. All right, let's get a 1/2 inch and start taking this off. This isn't going to be fun at all. Okay, guys, what I like to do is utilize this front corner right here where it makes that sharp little turn. I like to take these 2 bolts out and then just loosen the remaining bolts on this edge and get in here and pry this seal loose and just let all the fluid work its way out this one corner. And just kind of tilt the pan and just let it go into a catch bucket I got sitting over here in just a second. Generally doesn't work out that way, but I try to catch as much as I can and keep it off my floor. But, you know, let's just do it. Just get these out. Stay. I'm just wondering, part of me says just try to tighten them up a little bit. But as you can see, I'm just touching, well, you can't see, but just touching this edge. Transmission fluid's running out. You know, for cracks and giggles, we can try to tighten them up a little bit and see what happens. But I'm going to change the gasket either way. Yeah, they're tighter than I'll get out. So we know they're not loose. Dang it. All right, let's go. All right, we get these loose. Now let's go ahead and start getting our catch bucket over here. This thing's got to be getting full too. Well, okay. How about we just tighten you up and pull the other one up? All right, well, we're going to try to catch as much as we can in here. All right, let's go. Let's see, linkage. is this one here. Let's go ahead and get the linkage out of the way. You got to remember these two bolts go there because these are not the bolts that go in there. I knew that was going to fall. Where'd you go? Keep an eye on it. All right. Okay. Did Josh have another bolt up in there? He did. Okay. So what he did is he just shimmed the linkage down, which is cool. It's what I would have done. All right. So now we got it out of the way. Let's get back to these bolts. What did I do with that other one? Did anybody see what I did with it? Ah, there it is. And, okay. Linkage out of the way. All right. Well, we're just going to loosen these. Just a tickle. All right, let's see if we can get a wedge in there and start getting this fluid out. Gonna try to keep it out on this far corner right here. All right. Please don't make a mess. Well, get out of there. There we go. Here we go. Now we're just gonna try to catch it right here. I'm going to tighten these two bolts up here, back up a little bit. We don't need those leaking right now. So we'll focus on this corner. All right, now I'm just going to let that sit there and drain for a few seconds. It'll be like that your time, but we're just going to let this pan catch as much as we can humanly let it catch. And then once that drains down, we'll gradually work it out. Lovely. We're catching it all in the pan is what we want though. I don't want it all over the floor. So we're just going to let that do its thing and I'll be back with you guys here in just a minute. While that's in there draining, I figured I'd come out here and see what this looks like. I haven't been out here since before daylight. How many of you woke up to this in the last day or two? It's officially here, boys and girls. Good night. All right, boys and girls, we got this down to a steady drip. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take all the bolts out but the back two towards the back side of the car. And then we're going to gradually tilt this all the way down, try to get the majority of the transmission fluid out. And then we'll take those last two bolts out, lower this thing down and gently pour it down in the catch pan here. And then we're going to take it over there on the workbench and we're going to see what's inside this pan. Make sure it's all good to go. And then we're going to put a new seal on it. So let's get you set up. All right, let's see if I can keep from making a mess. It's doubtful. I mean, you're going to make a mess. It's just part of it. It's trying to limit the mess, right? All right, I think we're down to the last couple bolts here. Okay, so we got one there and one there, so that's two. We'll get this one out. All right. Oh, we got one or two more here. All right, let's see if we can keep from making a gigantic mess. Doubtful, but hey, it is what it is, right? Let's get this in place. Here we go. The good thing is it doesn't smell burnt. So we're golden there. I think I might need to loosen those other ones just a tickle. Just a little bit. I got quite a bit of it out of there. We might be all right, but not gonna chance it. There we go. Now she's tilting pretty good. I think we might be okay. We'll let some of this come out real quick. We might be okay to go ahead and remove the whole pan. There is a gasket in there. I can feel it. But we're going to go ahead and check the lip of the pan. We'll check the lip of the transmission itself. Get in here and go over it. It smells in pretty good shape. I mean, it doesn't smell burnt. Those of you know what a, burnt transmission smells like. And yeah. All right, let's see what we can do here. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to go ahead and take these last two bolts out and drop this pan. I might be in your all's way a little bit here. Bear with me. Okay, there's a bolt. Get off there. Oh, no you don't. Not doing this. Getting caught up on the cross member. Okay. Now, let's see if we can very gently, very gently get this pan out. Okay. Just pour the rest of the transmission fluid down in there. Oh no. Oh. Well, we were close. Idiot, dude. Idiot, dude. Oh, well. All right, let's get this over on the bench. Good night. It's like a murder scene. Ah, idiot. Well, you've seen it here, folks. No hiding or editing anything on BRG. It looks like a murder scene right there. Golly. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to clean that up. We're gonna let that transmission just drip dry for a few minutes. I mean, no sense in trying to worry about it now. Well, let's go over here and look at this right quick. Good night. Okay, let's take a look at where this seal could have failed. So it was leaking right here, this whole edge. I don't see any tears or anything. Nothing like it stands out, any rips. Not really for sure. You can see it's bubbled up right there. And this section here is what was leaking real bad. I mean, it's irrelevant. We're going to go ahead and do it. I mean, it feels kind of dry. All right, well, let me get you set up. We're going to get the rest of this fluid out. I don't see any. I mean, there's some residual. Well, let's look. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit in there. Let's get a little more of this fluid out and we'll double check it one more time. Make sure there's no chunks. I do see some aluminum flake down in there, some glitter. You can probably see some right, hold on, right there. Right there. Let's get a little more of this fluid out and we'll check it one more time. Alright guys, cool. We got our murder scene somewhat cleaned up here. I'll get some more of this later on. Just gonna let it dry. And then we got our transmission all kind of dabbed-ish, you know, so it's not dripping so much as bad. Transmission filter looks really good. Not sure if I'm gonna change on it. We'll just see what's all in this pan. But it looks okay. I mean, it doesn't stink as it's been burnt. I don't see any obvious problems. I mean, it's, you know, it's Mopar, so it's going to last forever, right? All right, so let's go over here and check out our pan. I went ahead and dumped the remaining bit of that transmission fluid out in the disposable bucket. Now, this all gets disposed properly, right? They don't go in the trash can and out into the landfill. We'll get rid of these properly. But anyway, now that said, let's check this out right quick. I mean, it does have some metal in the pan. Just residual stuff. I don't see any heavy flake. A couple small pieces maybe right here. Nothing major. I'm not sure the condition of the pan when it was put in or any of that jazz. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is we'll get you set up. We're going to go ahead and get this gasket off here. Get this all cleaned up real nice. Then I'm going to take my new gasket. I'm going to heat it up with the torpedo heater. Just make it a little more malleable. Generally, if it was warm outside, I would just set it out in the sun. You know, get it nice and malleable, but it's, you know, 20 degrees outside, so we're going to have to use the torpedo heater to do that. And we'll put a little fine sheen of gasket sealer around the top of the pan, put the new gasket on, a little more gasket sealer around the new gasket, and then we'll get it mounted and go from there. So let's get to work. All right, let's get this cleaned out. Gotta love brake clean. Gotta love it. Ooh. Come out of there. All right, let's get this wiped off and get this seal off here. Let's get you set up on the bench. Man, that's crazy how that dumped out like that. Spend all that time making sure that, like, hey, let's not make a mess. And what do? I just dump it all over the floor. Idiot. It's all right, it happens. All right, let's get this seal off here. All righty then. Oh, okay. I didn't know if there's any gasket sealer on here or not. Looks like it was just kind of put on and pressed on, which is fine, no big deal. All right. I mean, the gasket doesn't look bad. I could probably reuse it, to be honest, but we're not going to. I think this is more of like a, yeah, I'm just going to rip it, heck with it. It's more or less just like a Felpro gasket or a cork gasket, if that makes sense. We're going to put a rubber gasket on, is which I got here. So we'll just, I don't know, we'll just throw it over there for now. All right, cool. So let's get this edge all cleaned up and go ahead and get our new gasket put on. Probably going to go ahead and wire wheel it. I don't feel any, it's weird how it leaked right here. That just, I don't know if it got itself in there all cottywampus or something and then leaked. Don't know. But we're going to fix its little red wagon. All right, let me get a wire wheel. We're going to wire wheel this right quick, get it good and clean, and then we'll get our new gasket put on. Alright guys, you can see we're in my truck. In typical fashion, I went to go put that gasket on, and turns out everything I had in the shop was for a 904. So I called my friends up at Advanced Auto Parts. As you guys know, they're a huge supporter of the channel. You know, if you got one in your area, go tell them BRG sent you. But anyway, so we're gonna run up there. They're getting me up some 727 gaskets. I'm gonna need them in the future anyway, so we're just gonna get what they got, and then we're gonna get back to the shop and get that thing put in. So I'll see you up there at Advanced. All right, boys and girls, we got our transmission fluid, we got some ultra black, and then we got some new gaskets. Appreciate our friends up here at Advanced Auto. Get my eyes on them so I can see. All right, let's go ahead and put us a small little bead of black gasket sealer around our pan here where our gasket's gonna be sitting. Get it all over my finger already. Good night. Put a little bit here. Oh, now I poked a hole in it. Great. I guess we're pulling it from here now. We just want to create a nice seal here. Don't want to put a mountain of it on there. Just enough to where it just ensures we don't have a leak. Some people may like doing this, some people may not. It's your own preference. You don't have to do it. I just prefer to do it for any gasket that I put on any of our cars. Man, maybe I should have got a bigger tube. It's all right. We'll fold it up like you do the old toothpaste at home. This area I want to concentrate on because it still confuses me why that leaked, unless that gasket just got all like, I think it just got pinched, if I'm being 100% honest, but I'm not for sure. We're going to have just enough in this little tube. I started to buy a big one, but I'm like, it'll be all right. And of course, it's going to be all right. We just need a tickle on here. And just enough. Just enough. All right, let me throw this away. Get my finger cleaned off. And we're going to lay this gasket down. And I got that crap everywhere. All right, so this is a 14-hole gasket. We're going to get it laid down here. Get our holes lined up. And that's what I like right there, how it holds the gasket in place. And it's a little chilly down here. It wouldn't hurt to maybe throw a little bit of heat on this, but I think it's going to be okay. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. I need to get a little bit of brake clean, aka hand soap. Get this crap off my hands. I got it everywhere. And I prefer these because they're rubber versus that, I don't know, almost like a cork or a cardboard gasket. I just feel these seat a little bit better. Got a little bit bulging out there. All right, we're going to let that set a minute. We'll put another skim coat on this side of the gasket, and then we're going to put this back on the transmission. Good deal. All right, guys, while that gasket sealer is over here kind of tacking up, we're going to take a little bit of brake clean and put it on a rag. And we're just going to wipe this outer edge of where that gasket's going to sit to make sure there's no debris or anything weird on there. Now, obviously, you don't want to touch none of the components of the transmission or anything like that with this. But again, we're just cleaning this edge to make sure there's nothing up there in the way, stuck to it, so on and so forth. Now we're going to bring that gasket over here and we are going to set it on here. All right. Good deal. All right, let's go get our pan and our gasket and let's get it set in place. All right, guys. So I got our pan ready. Our gasket is actually set, good and set to the pan. I went ahead and put a slight little coating of the gasket maker on the top of the gasket, and we're going to go ahead and just plop this thing up on there. So let's do this. Now there is a little drip of transmission fluid here. We want to get that off there. We don't want that in our gasket, so that's gone. All right, let's plop her back on here. Let's start our bolts. We just need to get a couple on here to hold it in place. Come on, little buddy. We need a hole here. Let's find you a spot. Oh, stay. Where are you going? Got to get through this gasket here. We don't want stuff moving around. Ah! Are these bolts too big for the holes? Now, what I can say, guys, is you don't want to goose these down. I just like to get them run in there and get them started. And then I'll go by and just jig. I'm sure there's a torque step on them. But like that one there, I just accidentally run all the way down. You don't want to do that. Just kind of get them all loosely put in there. And then you can go around and tighten them up. So let me get these put in right quick. All right. Let's just work our way around here. Again, we're not driving them home. We're just getting them started. Where'd you go? A lot of little bolts, you all. All right, I got two left. Where do y'all go? Ah, all the way up in there. Okay. One more. All right, guys. Now, seriously, what I like to do is I like to do these like you would a car tire, right? So I like to do one and then skip two. So one, skip two, one, skip two, one, skip two, and just work my way around until I get everything dialed in. But you notice I'm not tightening them all the way down. I'm just getting them to where, I guess it's almost a feel thing. Or with your tool, it's a sound thing, right? You just kind of know where it's going to have to sit. And you want to make sure your gasket doesn't get shoved out either. And then just work your way around. Get them all tight. All right, let's take a look at them. All right, guys, everything there looks really good. Now, again, I'm not the foremost expert on putting on a transpan gasket. Again, this is just the way I do it. In your garage, you can do it however you wish. But for me, I think that is going to be just perfect. So I'm going to give that a little bit of time. Let me get out of there so I can actually talk to you. So I'm going to give that a little bit of time to set up. In the meantime, I'm going to clean up all that excess oil and transmission fluid and stuff that's all over everything under there. And then we'll get this thing down on the floor, put transmission fluid in it, and we're going to start looking for an oil leak, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, guys, good deal. We got everything good and cleaned up under here. All the excess oil that was dripping off like the starter. We even had some dripping off the alternator up there, off the frame rails, oil pan, plug, all that's dialed in. And if I'm being honest with you from looking at it, I think the biggest part of the problem is coming from them valve cover gaskets. I really do. So once we get it down, we're going to take a look at that. And if that's the case, we'll get a hold of Summit and we'll get some really nice like Moroso racing valve cover gaskets. And that's what I have on Noisy Cricket, Monzilla, and yeah, Homer. So I think those are going to be fine. Anyway, so let's get him down. We'll kind of go from there. We'll get transmission flipped back in, and then we'll go ahead and test on it. And yeah, you've been here long enough. You know what testing on it means. So awful cold day to do that, but you know what? It's BRG, right? All right, so let's get old Grem down off the lift. Come on down, bud. There you go. Get you back down on the ground. All right, let's go ahead and get Grem filled back up here, see if we got any leaks, and then we might just test on it. Probably gonna take forever with this little filter, or this little funnel, but it'll be okay. Most 727s will hold about 5 quarts. Now, obviously, that doesn't include, your lines, especially if you got a transcore. Doesn't include the torque converter, any of that jazz. So we're going to go with 5 quarts. Probably go with 4, and then check it, and then go ahead and put our 5th in. This stuff's got expensive. It's like $9 a quart now. Shoo-wee. See if we got any leaks. Nope. Dry as a popcorn fart. Generally, I just use quick shift from B&M for my transmissions, but I don't have any more. I'm out, so I'm gonna have to order some. Or trick shift, I'm sorry, trick shift. What did I say, quick shift? What an idiot. In tribute to Ralphie, seeing how this is a sleeper dude car, we'll do the old long pour. Woo! Still no drips or anything, which is good. I have no clue what that was. All right, I'm still missing that 8-foot snake in here. I wonder if he's up. Yeah, there. Back to what we were doing. See how long we can get this one. Well, as far as I can get till that funnel fills up. That'll work. I'm still looking good. Man, I don't know what in the world that was. All right, let's see where we're at here. Well, it's not gonna matter till I start it. All right, guys, you know me. You've been here long enough. There's only one real way to test anything, and that's with the shock burnout. So, without further ado, let's get to doing that. These slicks don't like burnouts too well. And these old tires over here have just been begging for a popping. So, I don't know if we'll pop them. I don't know if we'll get that far, because I'm probably not going to be able to see. But we'll get them down just a tickle. And there's no other way to do Grem proud than that, right? So we're going to have to get a little bit of heat in the engine. And then we're going to test and see how well that transmission really works. So let's get this slick off here. Goodbye. Wow, okay. That was a little much. These tires are on the verge of popping just sitting here, if I'm being honest. They are dry rotted like you wouldn't believe. Well, get my boot in there. Big old hoofs. I mean, like they were meant to go on there. We're not overachievers here at BRG. Again, you've been here long enough to know better. So we're going to do the old 3-lug. That ought to be good enough to hold it. So we'll just slap these on here. Oh, yeah. What, did that even go? All right. So let's get this old boy down on the ground, lock up that front end. Let's have a little fun. Come on down. All right, guys, good deal. It's been about an hour. I had to let this shop like air out. It was thick, and here's what I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, Grem looks amazing. He turned out amazing. We have no leaks here. Let me give you a shot at this. Oh yeah, we are drier than a popcorn fart. Got his hood put back on him, got him cleaned up just a tickle. Went ahead and put Noisy Cricket's hood back on him. Got him cleaned up a tickle. So these two, for the most part, are done for the winter with exception to upgrades, right? You know, we still have to pull the top section of Grem's engine off to get ready for a blower. While I'm in there, I want to take a look at that engine just to make sure. Might go ahead and upgrade his rods and pistons. I'd even considered having the engine completely sent out, completely rebuilt with forged crank, forged rods, forged pistons, the whole smash. We'll go through Maul again for the crank, and we'll go through Eagle for the rods and pistons. Noisy Crickets, his next update is going to be different exhaust, and we're going to go ahead and 4-link it, get his rear end way down, narrow it out, get that dialed in. Again, we still got to do Grem's Willwood brakes, his rear end and all that. But anyway, my next focus is on his engine. Squirt is feeling better. I'm not sure when you all seen that episode. It could have been last week or the week before. So we're going to get back down there with her, get the rest of the trim stripped off this. We actually dug the vinyl out yesterday and looked at it. That is going to be sick. I love it. But next, we've got to get Monzilla done. I keep putting this car off, keep putting it off. I got to get him done. I have everything here, but we got to get him done, do a shot burnout for crying out loud. And then, of course, we got to get Homer 3.0. I got him dug out yesterday. He's going to go right here next to the Dirty Dodge. Got to get the girls down here to help me get that hood put on. And then, of course, you know, my 3-year I haven't touched project, which is our Burt Reynolds Trans Am, officially known as Hot Mess. Oh my God, look at them hands. Gee whiz. We got to get going on that car. So, yeah, BRG has got a lot to do. We got to quit talking about it. We just got to be about it, right? So cool. That was a fun little episode. It was something that needed to be done to Grem like right now. I didn't want to wait very long. And, yeah, been a good time. You guys know the deal, man. I appreciate you. I love you. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. BRG out.